Hello, my name is Rocket, and welcome to episode 1 of my Tiny Guardians 100% playthrough. So recently in my post-night playthrough, I finished the main story, and one of the characters there, Lunali, told us to play Tiny Guardians to find out about her adventure. So if you don't know, Lunali is this character over here, which is actually the main character of this game. And she is a summoner who can summon a few cards called Guardians that are these characters over here. But without further ado, let's begin the playthrough. So you start off by some amazing graphics here telling us a little bit about what's happening. Now this might be a bit confusing to understand, so let me explain. This is, I guess, the house where Lunali lives, and when she wakes up, she sees the door open and something's wrong. Everything's wrecked, and there's someone missing. And as you can see, she puts on her robes, she gets her guardians, her cards, and she goes on a journey. So what is happening here is that her master, her master, is missing, and we need to go on an adventure to find her. And this is Lunali, the main character, which appears on Post Night. So then let's begin our journey. So meet Lunali. Protect Lunali, the summoner, in her travels. Summon units to protect her, defeat enemies to gain mana, and reach the end of the road to win. So to summon units, we choose a slot to summon it and select the unit from your cards. Right? So as you can see, all of these are the enemies we're going to be facing off here. As if you don't know, actually, this is basically a tower defense game where Lunali, the main character, is our tower that we need to defend, and we can summon a few characters to protect her. Now, right now we're going through the tutorial, but I actually want to explain a few things as we go on. But for now, let's just summon the knight. Here, we have 3 positions where we can summon characters. And we're going to summon the knight where the tutorial tells us to. And now it says we can start the game, and also tells us a bit of information about the knight. So the knight is a warrior card. We'll learn about that in a little bit. But knights are simple, sturdy, but slow. A great and affordable choice to keep enemies away from Lunali. Now, in the beginning of every stage, I guess, or level, however you want to call it, there's going to be the start game button. But before you actually start, you can actually move around and see the enemies. So if I actually click on Lunali, for example, we can't right now click. Now that the tutorial button is off. As you can see, if you click on a character like Lunali, you can see her HP over here. So she has 300 HP. She does 3 to 5 magic damage, if you see a little rod over there. And this is her armor. There's 2 types of armor, but as you can see right now, Lunali has no armor. And this is the attack speed. So her attacks are very slow. And then we have our knight here with 250 HP. Does 9 to 10 physical damage. As you can see, he has a sword. He has low armor, a little bit better than Lunali, and attacks with a medium attack speed. We can also check our enemies. We have the Direwolf Cub with 7 HP, 4 to 5 physical damage, as you can see by the sword, has no armor, and attacks at a medium speed. And let's see if there's any type of other enemy. Yes, there is the Bandit with 40 HP, 9 to 11 range physical damage, as you can see by kind of this bow, has no armor, and has medium attack speed. So these are things you can learn before you actually start the game or start the level, so you can understand what your enemies are good and bad against. If I see right now, he has no armor, so I can easily take them down, while the bandits also have no armor, can easily be taken down as well. But our biggest threat damage-wise is the bandit, doing a lot more damage than these Direwolf Cubs at 245. So there's a lot of information we can gather up before actually starting the game. And Tiny Guardians is a game that's all about the strategy, how you used your units. So right now, we're just gonna continue with the tutorial with all of that information gathered, since we can't do much for now, but let's begin. And we actually see here, telling us about the dire wolf cub. These cubs may not seem strong, but be careful. Larger ones are sure to follow where they appear. So they're already warning us about a new type of wolf coming around. And now you can see our unit is moving, so our knight. And we are gaining mana. We're gaining 3 mana for each that we defeated. And now we have the unit position. Unit positions can be swapped when traveling. Prepare a good formation before enemies attack. So there's a little time frame between a wave and another wave coming in. So we had the first wave a little bit over here, and now we're moving a little bit more into the level, and there's a second wave of wolf cubs coming. In this short amount of time, you can actually change your formation. Currently we only have 3 slots to summon, and we can change our formation on the characters we actually have while that happens. So I'm going to drag my knight over here so he's closer to these wolf cubs. As you can see, our knight is now going, our knight changed position and is now attacking these wolf cubs and very easily taking them down. And now we're not moving, so as you can see there's no drag button, you can actually just move him and he actually moves there. And now we have the wave timer, something very important. As you can see at this bar over here with 3 stars. Our main objective is to obviously get 3 stars in each level. By double tapping we can trigger a wave earlier. So the earlier you see this little timer bar over here, it's going to be full with these white dots, and as time goes by, these dots will become, go to this transparent color. And the earlier you actually double tap it, the wave will come to you, and the more star points you get. Obviously, you want to do this as soon as possible to gain as much star points as you can to get those 3 stars, because that's the objective. So with that, let's do it very early. And there we go, you see that? That was a nice boost. And we have the dire wolf. It's still not on our screen, I believe, but they're wild and ferocious wolves that roam the Gasped Plains and its surrounding forests. So currently these are just dire wolf cubs, but we should be finding... Oh, there we go. Now we can summon another character. I'm going to summon the archer, and I'm going to put the knight over there. We have the archer. Archers are fast attackers. Quick and nimble, they can attack enemies even where they're traveling. So the knight is a more defensive melee character. He's a warrior. And, he's melee, he's a little bit tankier than the archer, and it's supposed to be in the front line. The archer does ranged physical damage and with her bow. And obviously you want to keep her a little bit away from all the action because she's a bit squishier. So if I'm going to double tap that. If you go see the dire wolf here, he has 30 HP, does 7 to 9 damage, has no armor, and has a medium attack speed. So as you can see, since I didn't do anything with my archer and she just went to attack, the enemies overall went to attack her. As you can see, some units aren't meant to be in the front line. Drag them away to safety for them to be more effective in battle. So as you can see, when she is melee range, she actually attacks with her bow and doesn't use her arrows. This actually does a lot less damage than if you back off and use your bow. What I'm going to be doing now is backing a little bit away, and they will change their target to my knight, which is what we want. So there we go. This is not a way we can trigger. As you can see, we actually lost a lot of HP, but now we actually learned one of our 3 cards over here. They're all currently blank, but we got our first one, which is Regen. Creates an area that heals your party. Make sure to have the units you want in range. Move them for more coverage. What we're going to do now is get them over here together, and I'm going to trigger that heal. And we can actually trigger that. And I'm going to put my archer over here. And with that, we should be good to go. Our knight should be able to stand this no problem. And there we go. That's done. So now as you can see, I don't really like this position. Oh, it's actually pretty good. As you can see, selling into the drag so you can move around the map. And now we can actually find a little bit of information about the bandit. So we already saw his information on the damage, his armor, his HP, and things like that. But now you actually get this entry. So we have the bandit. Skilled marksmen who take their enemy down from afar to get their treasures. So they're basically our archer here. Now we want to actually make the knight tank the bandits, so we're going to move him in front of them, and so that way the archer can actually do damage without didn't take a lot of damage. So something else that appears are these potions here, which gives us more mana. I'm going to summon another archer here in that position, and you should be having the final wave here. So let's see if you can do it. I'm going to be putting my knight over there. And I want to put my archers over here so they can actually attack these bandits because they're the biggest threat we have. Alright. Currently are at 5, or not 5, 3 stars. And they're actually not taking it down. I'm going to move them a bit closer to see if they actually beat them. Alright, there we go. I'm going to move them all close together and I'm going to heal them. And there we go. I think that is it. You have finished the first one. The first level, which is basically the tutorial. But there we go, we finished with 3 stars. As you can see, the normal difficulty has been done. We can go next. And welcome to this screen. Now, as you can see, this is going to be where we're going through our levels. So there's a lot of levels to go around, but you know, this screen is a little bit new. We have our stars here, so we have 3 of 64 stars. We got 3 stars in that level, if you remember. So there we go, and we have a bit of coins here. We'll talk about that a little bit later in this playthrough. But we got 2 new things. We have our upgrades. So we have a warrior, range, magic, and stealth. A reset button, so if I click this and upgrade it, I can reset it and gain my stars back. There is no what's it called? There's no cost for resetting, so you can reset as many times as you want. And there's the upgrade button here. I think you can also double tap it to get it, yeah. So right now we have 3 stars, and we can divide it either 1-1 or 1-2. Now I'll be going back here in just a little bit, so let's delay that a little bit. And let's go into our collection. So in our collection, we can see our units. So we currently have the knight. So knights are simple and sturdy. You will feel safer with one leading the party. You know, this is the biggest front line you can have right now. 250 HP, 9 to 10 physical damage, low armor, and normal attack speed. And then we have our archer. Archers swiftly deal with enemies from a distance. They're obviously in the range category. They have 120 HP, so as you can see, a lot less than our knight. The 68 damage, which is a little bit less, but her range attacks actually do a little bit more than the knight. She has no armor and does a normal attack speed. Now, you also can see here the upgrades, which we currently have locked because we haven't leveled up any of these characters up. So our guardian's gonna level up, and we'll find out about that a little bit later. So we also have our collection on our enemies. So we currently fought 3 enemies, a dire wolf cub. These cubs might not seem strong, but be warned, larger ones are sure to follow when they appear. So this is the same description that we found out when we were doing the level. As you can see, the same stats already talked about as well. But I actually have something here, which is disguise. So as you can see, these characters don't really have an ability, but the bandit does have disguise. We'll talk about that a little bit later in this playthrough as well. And the final thing we have in collection are our tips. So there's 27 tips. And I won't be reading all 27, obviously, but they're very good information if you don't know a bit about the game, so it will be very good for you to read them and learn about them. So with that done, what I'm going to be doing this 100% playthrough is going to be going back to the training trail, and I want to complete these levels at the hard difficulty, which is the hardest we have. So you have easy, you have normal, we have hard difficulty. So as you can see here in this tip, we have a completed in normal mode, but this is a 100% game playthrough, and I want to be doing it on the hard mode. We also have this other thing here, which is the challenge mode. So you can test your limits, enemies are stronger, and units cannot be revived. Overcoming this mode grants a sparkly star. So this is the sparkly star we're currently missing. So no reviving. We haven't really encountered this in our playthrough yet, but we will soon. So there's no warrior. We cannot use warrior type guardians, so the knight cannot be used, and only upgrades max level 1 can be used. But we'll get into that. So, by the way, that's these upgrades over here. So even if you have this full bar upgraded, only the level 1 will count for that specific challenge. But for now, we're going back to the training trail, and we want to do this in hard mode. But before we do that, we actually want a few upgrades, right? So, since we have 3 stars, I kind of want to use the most of it. Instead of dividing it 1-1 and having 1 star, I think it's more important to have 3, so 3-0 or 0-3. Now if you actually read what each of these gives us, we currently have only unlockable the warrior and range. So on the warrior we have the hearty health on level 1, which increases the maximum health of warrior units. So this basically gives them more health. You know, that's pretty good for a level 1 upgrade. We also have the solid shield, which increases the defense of warrior units. So this makes it a little bit tankier, having a little bit more of physical defense. If you go over to the range, we have rapid fire on level 1, which increases the attack speed of ranged units. So you know, our archers or ranged characters or guardians can actually attack from a little bit farther away instead of needing to walk a little bit closer to attack. And then we have light-footed, so increases the movement speed of ranged units. So you know, this makes it a little bit easier to gain some distance with enemies, so it can be easier for us to attack by, you know, having a bigger range between us and the enemy. So I think getting the hearty health and the solid shield gives us more base stats than, you know, getting some extra movement speed. So I think going 3-0 on our warrior will be better for the hard mode. So let's jump into the hard mode. This game is actually really hard. There's a lot of hard levels out there, but I'll be trying to do the hard one in every playthrough. So today we're obviously focusing on the training trail. The next episode on the Caspid Plains, I will also be trying to do the hard mode in each one and also the challenge. So the training trail, let's actually read the story, because you know, we just kind of we kind of didn't have the chance to read it. So story mode, gathering her cards. So as you remember, she collected her knight and her archer. Lunali sets off in search of her master. I talked a little bit about that earlier. Feeling traces of the sorceress magic on the trail heading downwards. She heads towards the Caspid Plains, so that's the next level. So we have this completed in normal difficulty, now we're currently at hard difficulty, and let's see if you can actually do it. Let's go. So this actually shows this again. I'm gonna try to move along a little bit faster. Let's see the archer right. Alright. So we're back here. This gives us the same information, so I'm going to be, you know, skipping that. So it's basically the same levels, but with more waves and harder enemies. But for now, we're going to be summoning. I think I'm going to summon the archer. So I'm going to summon the archer over here, so she can have an easier time hitting the Stein Wolf. I'm going to get rid of this as well. So I'm actually going to keep her here. The tutorial will make me change our positions, but I actually want the archer close to the enemy so she can attack before they actually come. There we go. And now we're going to bring her all the way here, and we're going to trigger that. Something that also changes your star stats is if Lunali takes damage. So you do not want Lunali to take damage. I'm actually going to summon the knight there so he can tank away. I'm actually going to move the archer. So when you move your characters, the opponents cannot attack them. So we want to abuse that a little bit. And there we go. We're almost at 2 stars already. Oh, we already have regen. I'm going to bring my knight over there. I'm going to use that. I'm going to attack that. I'm going to move my archer a little bit back from the knight. And once they get close, I'm just going to move my character so they retarget to someone else. I obviously want him at the knight because, you know, he's really tanky. There we go. Currently very smooth. This is the first level though. It gets a lot harder as we go through the game. Alright, so So now as you can see, our first wave is going to be there, so I'm gonna summon my knight over to the front line, keep my archer close though. I'm gonna take that bandit away. Alright. So I want my knight to actually tank these characters over here, and I want the archer to actually attack her. I'm gonna also leave a heal down there. As you can see, we're losing star points because they're attacking Lunali, unfortunately. I could have done that a little bit better, but hopefully you can still get 3 stars maybe. Or is it over? No, it's not over. Still have a few more ways. I'm gonna summon another archer. I'm gonna summon my knight over there. I'm gonna summon my archers over here so they can maybe attack these characters. I also have a way here, so I'm gonna make them target our archer because we want to keep Lunali safe for the 3 cards. Heal these characters over here. We currently have 3 hearts, or 3 stars. I'm always just saying that incorrectly. That's because of post night, but... Alright, I think it's done, right? I think we did it. And we have 3 stars, so we did it. It was a little bit messy over here when Lunali took a lot of damage, but it's very important in these types of level to get 3 stars, damn it! So yeah, we completed that in hard mode. So to get 3 stars, there's a few things you need to take into account. So Lunali cannot take a lot of damage, because you will lose a little bit of star points the more attacks she... the more attacks she receives, the more damage. You want the waves to come as soon as possible, so you need to keep your formation in a style where you can actually, overcome those new challenges, those new waves coming. So, that's very important. But when we finished the training, oh god, I forgot about the name. But on hard difficulty, let me see. The training trail, damn. Right, so as you can see, our tick changed to completed in hard mode. So if you completed in easy mode after you completed hard mode, I still think it will stay in completed in hard mode because it's the hardest mode you can actually do the training trail level. So now we're going to be doing the challenge mode. So test your limits, enemies are stronger and units cannot be revived. Overcoming this mode against the sparkling star I already talked about. So as you can see, there is no warriors we can use. So having our upgrades in our warrior doesn't really do anything. So I'm actually going to reset that. And I'm going to give this one to the rapid fire to our range. Giving us the light footed won't actually count, because if you remember here, the only upgrades available here are max level 1. So only the rapid fire will count towards the challenge mode. So I'm going to try to do the challenge mode on hard difficulty, and hopefully we can do it. Only archers will be allowed, so we'll see how we do. Alright, so as you can see, we actually have more waves appearing. You can also see our enemies here. There's a lot of them, and as you can see, we actually don't have our knight because he's a warrior type class guardian, so you can only bring our archer. But alright, just a little bug there. But I'm going to be putting my archer here at the top because it's closest to these dire wolves. There's not really a big threat, so we can probably just one-shot all of them with the archer. So if I put them here, if I put the archer here, she needs to move all the way here before she actually attacks them. So I'm going to move her already really close. As you can see, she can already attack them. This is range. Alright, so with that, let's begin. Hopefully we can do this. This is actually not easy. This game is really hard, but hopefully we can do it. It's only our first challenge. You should be able to summon another archer very soon as well. Change her location there. And I'm gonna abuse this little thing here where when you move your targets, the enemies retarget to someone else. Use it. I'm gonna make her tank for a little bit. And then I'm moving all together so I can heal. As you can see, they cannot attack because I'm moving all my characters. So it could have been a little bit better. We have a few characters here hurt, but hopefully we can actually do this. Something funny is that this wave, when it's coming, it's actually in the archer's range, so the archer is just attacking. Alright, so there's a few waves coming in. Let me change that. She can tank a little bit. I want her to tank. I want to put them very close to each other and heal them up. I guess I want another archer as well. Alright, they're not attacking Lunali, which is very important right now because she's actually very low. I'm gonna change. Alright, there we go. Not the best, but currently still pretty okay. We'll be getting another regen very soon as well. So we have Archer already cleaned that way before it comes. Very good. They're actually all together, so I'm going to use this opportunity to regen our Lunali to full HP. I'm going to change our characters. Our archers here. Change their location so they don't hit. There we go. This is how you want to do it so you take less damage. Obviously, every character is a little bit hurt, but our biggest problem in this challenge are the bandits. They do so much damage. 9 to 11 is a lot, and we need to take them down. I'm gonna put these characters here as tip. And they're not attacking the bandit, unfortunately. We really need them to attack it. So I'm gonna put them here together, and I'm gonna heal. I'm gonna put them all over here. So they can maybe. That's actually a lot of characters attacking our Lunali. Good thing Archer is not taking some damage. I can actually lose one Archer, so I'm gonna lose this one, which is already very low. So a new Archer here to tank. Need to heal. Oh god, she's getting super low. I need them to attack this archer. Alright, she's very low, but I think we did it. We're going to be focusing this archer, and we can actually win. Woo! This is really hard, but we did it. Very close to losing, but we did it. We completed the challenge mode in hard difficulty. So there we go, we did it. Whew, that was hard. As you can see, you get this shining star here. And with that, we should be finished with today's episode. We did the training trail on hard difficulty with only the stars you can have from the beginning. So as you can see, you have 4 stars here. You can also have our upgrades here. They can now change. I can actually reset that, and I'll keep that reset for our next episode. But for now, everything that I wanted to do this episode has been done. Next episode, we'll be going into the Caspid Plains, and we'll be trying to do that in hard mode as well. I'm going to be trying doing them all in hard mode as much as I can, but it's it's very hard to actually defeat this. This game is really hard to actually do the strategy very well, and you need to take a lot of things into consideration. You have your upgrades, you have the enemy stance, so there's a lot of things you need to take into consideration before actually doing anything. But for now, Training Trail is fully complete in hard modes. As you can see, hard difficulty, it has a tick completed in hard mode. So there we go. Next episode we'll be doing the Caspid Plains. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy this episode, and I'll be seeing you next time.